What's happening? What's popping, guys? Today we are facing the king again, and hopefully we're going to dethrone Dylan. And he's got a very threatening team. This is the BCF Season 3 Finals. This is the last season of my league of the BCF, and it was a very good run. For those who are in the BCF, I want to thank everybody for joining my league and um, putting up with me in the chat. So we're gonna be breaking down the teams real quick. Straight out of Compton, we got Mega Gyarados, and yeah, I am rocking the full shiny team. That's what I do. That's what we do around here. So Mega Gyarados has the Dragon Dance, Waterfall, Crunch, and Ice Fang, Adamant, and enough speed to outspeed things and stuff. And Boar, little bit of bulk on your boy. He's rocking the expert belt with heavy slam to hit that Altaria. Know what I'm saying? But everything else just flare blitz. And I got a flame charge. If I get a flame charge up, things can get scary. Actually, 2 flame charges is needed to outspeed the Greninja. So Emboar is complete dong shit, but it breaks things and stuff. Decided to bring the Crobat because it's fast, and he's got the Altaria. Crobat bar Dragon Stab can deal with the Altaria, and it's ever so common Dragon Dancing set, and it's actually a special Nasty Plot, Sludge Bomb, Heat Wave, Roost, somewhat bulky, but it's got a little bit of special attack. We got Kyurem. We got leftovers on Kyurem, only because leftovers is good for longevity for things like the Stealth Rocks switching in, but mostly for weak ass Gliscor hits and Zapdos. The 2 moves that we're going to be rocking offensively is going to be Ice Beam and Earth Power, because Ice Beam and Earth Power wrecks his whole entire team. And we also have Roost and Substitute with leftovers or Modest. A little bit of bulk, 266 speed to outspeed base 70 max speed Mons. And I think that actually outspeeds Modest Nidoking, maybe, sorta. Next, we have our Registeel. Now, Registeel is a playboy. Just came from the Playboy Mansion, and he's feeling adamant about it. Stealth Rocks, he's Shook a Berry, Iron Head, but I also have Ice Punch and Earthquake. And I decided to go very offensive with this team because he has defensive pivots that can switch into mine, and I just want to wall break things. Typically, when you see Registeel, it's like defensive because like offensive Registeel is dong. But like his whole team just gets marked by Ice Punch, and yeah. Next, the God set himself, Don Fan. Don Fan is rocking with the Yachi Berry, which is going to help against HPA Zapdos. If he were to decide to Ice Beam a Don Fan with Greninja, but like why would I ever keep a Don Fan in with Greninja? Ice Beam, it could take an Ice Beam from Nidoking, kinda, with the Yachi Berry. But most importantly, the thing with the Yachi Berry is I am rocking Natural Gift, Adamant Don Fan. Another Adamant user. Yeah, like my whole team, Adamant Gara, Adamant Emboar, Modest, Kyurem, Adamant, Registeel, and Adamant Don Fan. Very offensive. But Natural Gift Yachi Berry is a roll to kill the Gliscor. It does a minimum of like 54. It does like 54 to 100%. So if I get like a little bit of chip damage, all I need to do is get a tiny bit of chip damage on the Gliscor, and like everything just bodies the Gliscor. So it could be a little bit annoying to like stall your teams, but like this team does it very well. I don't want him to get up his Stealth Rocks, so there's only 2 Stealth Rockers are going to be Nidoking and Gliscor. Only potential defogger is his Zapdos, and he could be running spikes on the Greninja, and U-turn and extra belt, all that bullshit. I don't have the switch into Melwetta. Now, between fighting and psychic, like, no switch-ins. No switch-ins. Same thing with King, but, like, that's always a given. Like, King, like, never has switch-ins to things. Rocking a full, like, all girls. Girl power. So I decided to lead off with my Kiram because I decided it was the best lead because it could literally take a hit from like everything, and it outspeeds most variants of Altaria unless he was like Jolly or Timid or whatever. Leads off with Greninja. I decided to go for a substitute. The reason why I go for substitute is to scout. He might start just setting up spikes, and if he sets up spikes, then I can sub and then go for like 2 attacks and this and that. And I don't have a switch into Greninja, like none. When you run offense is what you are given. So I go for sub, and boom, bop, beat. Goes for a low kick, but it's actually very good because he reveals that he is not expert belt or life orb. Find that out in the calcs. That is why we do the calcs, boys. Get up a sub, living. So actually kind of figured out like he was probably focus sash because he wasn't expert belt. Yeah, I mean he could be scarf, but like scarf low kick, like what, huh? Yeah, that'd be weird. But yeah, he breaks the sub, goes for another low kick. I decided to go for an Earth Power, break the potential sash. Another thing he could have done like turn 1 is like U-turn into something else, but like what do you U-turn in on like a Kiram? And I predict him. Not sure if Dark Pulse would have killed or not because I don't know his spread, but odds are he's going to go for a low kick, predict that, and I could live 2 Dark Pulses. Who knows? I mean, he could have went for... Ice Beam wouldn't have killed. Long story short, Ice Beam would not have killed the Kiram. No way he was going to go for Ice Beam. Wouldn't have made sense. It would have been a misplay of his. Kinda. I mean, he could have been a god and predicted that, but here is we making plays. So with Crobat, there's only 2 Crobat checks there's going to be. For the most part, defensively, it's going to be Zapdos and the Gliscor. If I had U-turn, I would definitely U-turn right now. But I do not have U-turn. But we make plays out here, boy! Yeah, so predict him to go out into Zapdos or Gliscor. And goes for Thunder Wave, which is interesting because like it shows me that he is a very, very fast Zapdos. So like when I Dragon Dance with Gara, like late game, I'll have to keep that in mind. Like he's gonna be able to, like Zapdos outspeeds Gyarados unless I Dragon Dance. Let's just keep that in mind. I mean he could be like really, really fast and offensive, so he could be offensive. I don't know, maybe. But yeah, Thunder Wave's a fun move, as you will see later on in this game. So he goes out into the Meloetta as I get paralyzed. I went for a substitute because he can't break my sub, and like I'm always going to try to get up a sub versus the Zapdos because then I just spam Ice Beams after that, and like what was his team? Like Ice Beam, 2 it kills his whole team. Ice Beam actually one-shots like a lot of mons. But I get paralyzed, and you're going to see like that was huge that I got paralyzed this turn. I mean, you know, turn 6, like, oh, whatever, I got paralyzed. Happens, 25% chance, but later on the game, huge, blah, blah, blah. So, go into the Don Fan. 2 things here. If he was like Life Orb, like 3 attacks or whatever, he would have went for Focus Blast here. But prior, I actually expected him to go for a physical Meloetta set because, as I stated, Meloetta also gets outsped by Kiram as well. So going with the physical fighting Meloetta, it does a lot of cool things for him. Basically being able to outspeed things better. And there's one more mechanic that is about Melwetta. Melwetta gets Serene Grace. Serene Grace gets boosted. Zen Headbutt, chance of flinch. He has a 40% chance of flinch every time he goes for Zen Headbutt. But the thing is that in order for Melwetta to work right now, he has to go into Relic Song mode, whatever. And so that does nothing. And yeah, so he makes a very, very good play here. He goes into his Altaria because his only other plays were to go into Zapdos or into his Gliscor, but like you don't want those to get knocked off. So here I am going to go out into one of my two Altaria checks. One of them being Crobat, which is obvious, like that I can go Crobat, or the other one being my Mogwai. And another thing here is, yeah, so he goes for Ice Beam. If he would have went for a Fire Blast here, spoilers, he doesn't have Fire Blast. But if he did go for a Fire Blast here, like that would have been an amazing play. But I also went this route is because like I just want to get up my rocks, and I could easily live a Fire Blast and like do hefty amount of damage to the Altaria, potentially hitting him with the Thunder Wave. He knows I can Thunder Wave him or this or that, so he's not going to stand. He goes on the Gliscor because he can get up his own rocks. Because once again, his only two potential rockers are Nidoking, which he could have Stealth Rocks on Nidoking because like Nidoking has like three attacks, rocks, and then being able for Gliscor to do like more coverage shenanigans. Get up my rocks. Gets up the Toxic Orb, which is nice for him. Now, as I've already stated, all I need to do is get a little bit of I just need to get chip damage off on the Gliscor. And I also have Sugar Berry on the Registeel, so I mean he can't do any damage to me initially. I mean, I don't necessarily want my Sugar Berry to be broken already. And I actually predict him to go for Rocks because like Rocks really punish my team. And odds are like I'm gonna switch versus this, but like I'm not gonna switch. I'm gonna hit him with the Ice Punch because I just need damage on this thing. And unfortunately, I got a crit. I didn't want it. I didn't need it. But it sucks because he can't like switch into things now. I mean, he couldn't switch into anything because, as I stated, like everything kind of 2KO's Gliscor, except for the Crobat. But it's unfortunate that I get a crit. As here, he's going to go out into a Zapdos. So his only two plays in my eyes were him to go to Zapdos or for him to Roost. So I'm going to Kyurem. And I see that, lefties here, the reason why I went lefties, is because he had the Zapdos. I can continuously, it for longevity and because of rocks, it allows me to switch into rocks 5 times instead of 4 because lefties or whatever. So I can get up a sub against the Zapdos. I mean, probably my better play was the Ice Beam or whatever because like it literally got a kill. But I also could just get a free sub versus Zapdos. I mean, besides the sack Gliscor because like it was very, very hard. Especially because I mean the crit like because of everything on my team. Bar Crobat, he couldn't have done much with this Gliscor, so he sacks off the Gliscor. As I go for an Ice Beam here, and I get paralyzed, which is whatever because like I'm gonna go for a Roost to get my damage and or all that health back. Yeah, that Facade, he's actually adamant, like that does a ton, and he also shows like he doesn't have Earthquake or else he'd be going for Earthquake. As because of the para, I take like 10-15% more damage, which is a little bit annoying, but like whatever. Thunder Wave. So it goes Melwetta. I decided to stay in because like he's not. I don't want Donphan to get whittled, or I don't want. Yeah, essentially I cannot afford for this Donphan to get whittled, or else I get swept by Melwetta potentially. So because he's not in relic form or whatever it's called, I'm going to stay in and I can easily roost off this damage. But very, very annoyingly, I get paralyzed here. So I decided to switch, and it was a very good play in my eyes, but it could have been a very bad play because just like the Gliscor, my Kyurem's paralyzed and at a very, very low HP. It can't really... It gets outsped and killed by everything except for Zapdos, and rocks are up, so... I decided to go Donphan here because I really think I can keep it around for Zap. I think I can pull it off versus Zapdos. Or use it as potential... But I'm probably going to use it for, sacking it off versus, like, Nidoking. And decide to go out into Donphan because, once again, I can actually go for a spin here. Because his Gliscor is dead, I can go for a spin. And it doesn't, Zen Headbutt does 0 damage because it's not in Relic form song thing. So I go for a spin as he goes out into the Altaria. Now, he makes kind of a weird play. Oh, wait, no, excuse me. He goes for a body... Yeah. So he goes for a body slam here, and he gets the para on the Registeel, and I don't care about the speed. It's just I don't want my Registeel to ever get paralyzed because Ice Punch gets it killed pretty much every single time. Weird, right? That Registeel actually does a hefty amount of damage to his team, and so I'm gonna go for Ice Punch because like Ice Punch does a lot of damage to his Altaria. He's not going to stay in with Altaria because I'm a Registeel, and he's probably going to go out to Zapdos, so I'm going to go for an Ice Punch here, and as you see, I get paralyzed, and what that means is that I would have been able to get about 40-45% damage on Zapdos, so he would have been at like 15-20%, which meant he couldn't switch into Rocks twice, which means he was forced to go for a Roost this turn. Because he was in a position where he would have been forced to Roost, or he would have lost to Mega Gyarados essentially. This whole team at this point in time is whittled, and in my eyes, if I get up one Dragon Dance, I win. If I had got that Ice Punch, but tis Pokemon. It goes Greninja. I don't know what that meant. I really don't. I don't know why he went Greninja. I mean, maybe he predicted me to stay in with the Donphan and predicted me to knock off, and then he lived the I don't know. I don't know what's going on. Maybe he predicted me to not be Adamant, but like he should have known, like the calc, I was Adamant. Donphan. He couldn't have lived any attack from Donphan. I don't know. So that actually allows me to get up another lefties. Yeah, I decided to go into Kyurem because like I expected him to Roost because like he needs Zapdos healthy. Because if he doesn't Roost, then I Dragon Dance and Sweep and win. Because he needs Zapdos to be at like full health. Because he's already shown he's defensive based on the Thunderbolt damage prior. Yep, go Crobat again on a little bit repetitive, but like he's probably gonna go for a low kick on my. I mean, I think Dark Pulse would have killed or Paraflinched or whatever. Maybe it was a roll. Not sure. It would have been just safe for him to go for the low kick, but I decided to go Crobat because it's a little bit expendable at this point in time. I can clearly see he's like a really defensive Altaria. And I'm not worried about Dragon Dance Altaria. And Crobat is expendable. If something's going to be sacked, it's going to be Crobat. And he decides to just go get some damage off on this thing as I go for a Sludge Bomb. Because he couldn't switch into this, actually, because Zapdos rocks are up, and 2 Sludge Bombs would have killed it. So now he's going to go out into Zapdos to get a Roostinators off, but he actually goes for a Thunderbolt, which does not 2-hit KO my Kyurem, which is really good. So that means if I can get off a Roost here, my Kyurem is back in business, and it was a very, very good move. But if he gets the Thunderbolt para here, then I'm in a lot of trouble. Well, then I have to get rid of my Kyurem. Breakthrough, get the Roosts, yes. So I'm going to go off and get up a sub as he goes for Roost. I think that was a very, very good play because now he doesn't. Now Gyarados is not that big of a threat, as much as it's a threat anymore. I get up a sub because he can't break my sub. Yeah. And gonna fire off a Roostinator to get at full health. Don't get paralyzed, which is good. So here, I get a kill. Ice Beam gets a kill. As he goes for a body slam, and I get paralyzed. Now, if I did make any misplays this game, it was this turn. As you see, I decided to stay in, take the body slam, and to kill off the Altaria. Now, the reason why I did that is because he had body slam. My Crobat had a potential to get body slam paired, and then he could have switched out and this and that. And Altaria is one of the other mons. If Altaria gets off a roost versus, I mean, yeah, that's another thing. It's like Altaria can't really roost up versus anything, but it could potentially take on my Gyarados at that point of HP if I didn't Dragon Dance yet. I just want to get rid of this thing because it's annoying, and in the price I have to take 70% damage with my Kyurem when I shouldn't have taken any if I didn't get paralyzed, but you can't control that. As here, I'm going to stay in because actually I'm not going to stay in. As he goes for the Relic Song, I apologize. I don't stay in, he goes for a Relic Song. As I have to make a sack, I decide to sack Crobat because Crobat loses against the Melwetta. Crobat loses versus the Zapdos, and Crobat loses versus the Nidoking. So sack that thing off. Next, I'm going to go into my Emboar. Prior in the game, Melwetta should have taken Ice Beam damage very, very early in the game, but I got paralyzed. As you see, I'm gonna go for a Flare Blitz as I don't get paralyzed, as I don't get flinched, which is very nice. But if I had gotten Ice Beam damage off earlier, and I think it was actually a roll to kill with Flare Blitz as well, so just get a little lucky here with this and that. But he's in the back. He's gotta do what he can to win, and he's gonna finish off my my Emboar. Is now I can live a crit. Like I can live anything from Melwetta. The only thing is Zen Headbutt probably 2 KOs me. So for Dylan to be able to win this game, there is no other way for him to win this game unless he gets the flinch, 100%. Because if he doesn't, scenario, let's say he doesn't get the flinch here, he has to go into Nidoking. Spoilers, Nidoking is scarfed, and the only thing that he could really lock himself into was Earthquake. If he goes, and because he would have locked himself into Earthquake, that would have revealed to me that he was scarfed. The reason why I would have known Nidoking was scarfed was because he did take Life Orb damage. So he was either scarfed or like a random berry, but like Scarf is a lot more reasonable because like it is another check to Dragon Dance Gyara, because Choice Scarf Nidoking will outspeed Gyara. As he misses, and obviously that sucks, but as I stated, like he needed to get a flinch there in order to get back into this game, because I'm too far ahead. He has the King's Rock, which is it is what it is. He decided to go that route. A little bit annoying. Going for pairs in a finals game is what it is. But another mechanic that he didn't realize is that King's Rock plus Serene Grace and Zen Headbutt, like that doesn't stack. King's Rock does not stack with already flinching moves, so it was actually in my odds to be able to not get flinched because it's 40%. As he's forced to go into Nidoking because he can't go into Zapdos because one, Zapdos can't touch Donphan because he's actually only running Toxic on this thing, and two is because even if he did have like HP Ice and killed my Donphan, that would have allowed me to go into my Kyurem. I think Kyurem just kind of won. So he has to go Nidoking. Immediately I'm thinking that he's scarfed because he is not Life Orb, as I stated earlier, and I live the crit and I kill off the Nidoking. as it's my last four versus now. Actually, if he gets very extremely lucky with Zapdos, he potentially could win. But I just get rid of the leftovers because, um, yeah, I just get rid of leftovers. So he needs to get two. He needs to get two pairs right here because Zapdos potentially could beat Gara plus Registeel. Now Registeel does have Earthquake, and I could like Earthquake on his Roosts, but um, Registeel has no recovery, and he can Thunderbolt and Roost and this and that. So Zapdos could win it if I get paralyzed twice, maybe. So I get paralyzed once, and this is potentially the game right here. If I get paralyzed, I lose the game potentially. And if I go for Roost here, because if he were to go for a Roost of his own, like he chokes and I win, and it also ensures me like then I just like live a bunch of T-bolts and I just have to go for one Ice Beam, and I break through. I go for the Roost, and all I have to do is click Ice Beams and win the game. So that was a very, very good match versus a very skilled opponent in Dylan. I legitimately think he's one of the best. He's probably the best opponent that I've ever faced in League. No offense to anybody else, but like he has such understanding of this game, and I had to go a specific team to deal, with his mons. And if I didn't, if I had a standard team, he would absolutely blow me back. No ifs, ands, or buts. He played very well, but Kiram is a monster, and it's very, very devastating. And he had an overwhelming amount of ice weaknesses, which I was able to capitalize. But nevertheless, that was a very good game. And to everybody who played in the BCF, once again, I thank everybody for watching BCF videos, being involved in the BCF. And yeah, this was a fun game. And to that, I'm signing out. Have a good one, guys. Peace.